Hi everyone, Teddy Baldassarre with TeddyBaldassarre.com, and in this video we're looking at a great watch from Grand Seiko, one of my favorites, the SBGA415, known as the Winter from the Four Seasons collection. So on this channel, this is where we cover watches available for purchase on our website, TeddyBaldassarre.com, as an authorized dealer. So in this video, deep dive on this timepiece, and I'm actually going to be handing it off to my colleague Danny Milton. He is somebody that's been reviewing many watches on this channel as of late, so Danny's going to be giving his take on this winter version. In this video, deep dive on the timepiece, final points of consideration at the end. Also throughout the video, if you have further questions or looking to learn more about this watch or buy it, link will be in the description down below to our website. Without further ado, I'll hand it off to Danny and we'll jump into the review.
If there's one thing Grand Seiko is noted for today, and I would argue they're renowned for several things, it's their spectacular dials. From the introduction of the now iconic Snowflake in Japan in 2005, and to the rest of the world in 2010, the brand has continuously wowed the watch enthusiast crowd with one stunning dial after another, with a particular high point coming in 2019 with the launch of the Four Seasons collection. And while the pink-hued SBGA413, meant to evoke the cherry blossoms floating on the surface of a river in spring, garners the lion's share of attention, its winter-themed counterpart, the SBGA415, presents an equally striking dial that conjures up visions of deep mountain snows. But as we all know, Grand Seiko isn't just about its dials, not by a long shot. Innovation in materials, movement technology, and next-level finishing are all part of the Grand Seiko formula that results in some of the best that watchmaking has to offer, regardless of price or place of origin. And since we're deep in the throes of winter in North America, now's the perfect time to take a closer look at the chilly aesthetics of the SBGA415 Winter Taisetsu. And there's no better place to start than with that amazing dial. Grand Seiko's success following their reintroduction to the world outside of Japan can largely be attributed to their seemingly endless parade of distinctive dial renditions, and the SBGA415 is no exception. Press photos rarely do a watch dial justice, especially one as varied in its texture as this one is. Appearing as a warm gray in low light, its true depth can only be appreciated once you experience it in a variety of lighting conditions. It's then that the differing tones of soft gray, silver, and off-white are discovered, reflecting off the myriad microscopic angles of those brush-like strokes and textured shadows. And playing perfectly against those soft focus surfaces are the diamond-polished indices that glint under the bright lights like the little metallic jewels they are. The faceted bevels of the indices are so delicately rendered. The watchmakers of Grand Seiko use special tweezers to fix them to the dial in order to avoid marring their flawless finish. Equally sharp are the distinctive Dauphine-style hands with beveled edges that evoke the razor-like edge of a Japanese katana blade. Dial text is reserved, with the Grand Seiko wordmark in black below 12, and spring drive announcing its presence above 6. Contrast comes in the form of an applied gold GS logo above the wordmark, and a blued second hand marking the time with its achingly smooth sweep, hinting at the technological prowess of the spring drive movement beneath the dial. Other points of note include the frame date window at 3 and the power reserve indicator at 7, which is a bit of a divisive inclusion among collectors, as it tends to be either reviled or revered, depending on your views on symmetry. No matter what those are, there's no disputing that taken as a whole, this is one of the brand's most striking dial renditions. Moving on to the high-intensity titanium case, Grand Seiko also sets itself apart in not only its use of the material, but in the elevated level of its finishing. Based on the aesthetics of the iconic 62GS launched in 1967, its party piece is the long, continuous bevel running the length of the case from lug to lug, even more pronounced in the modern execution of the style. Titanium is notoriously difficult to machine and polish, so it's even more impressive that Grand Seiko has been able to achieve such a refined level of finish with the hairline brushing and Zaratsu polishing all done to an extremely high standard. Dimensions check out as follows: a 40mm case diameter, a case height of 12.8mm, and a lug-to-lug measurement of 46.5mm. The end result is a case that's extremely comfortable to wear for most average-sized wrists, aided by the curvature of the lugs that makes the watch wear closer to something in the 38.5 to 39mm range. Another factor aiding the wearability is the sheer weight, or should I say, lack of it. that comes from utilizing a traditionally tool watch material in an elevated luxury piece. The watch nearly disappears on the wrist when compared with an apples-to-apples steel or precious metal timepiece of a similar size. It can be a bit disorienting at first, with its visual weight not syncing up to reality, but that's part of this watch's magic. The sign crown screws down, adding another check mark to the plus column, with the resulting 100 meters of water resistance increasing the viability of wearing the SBGA415 in both dressed up and sportier situations. A lovely box sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating on the underside lends a vintage-leaning appearance, and the screwed-on caseback also gets a sapphire window, offering a tantalizing view of the spring drive movement in action. Grand Seiko's golden lion obscures some of that view, but that may or not be an issue, and it does add a nice reminder of the brand's heritage and elevated status within the larger Seiko family. The 3-link titanium bracelet's finishing complements the watch's case details with predominantly hairline brushed surfaces, offering a hint of flash by way of high-polished accents on either side of the center links. Due to its lightweight, it adds to the comfort of the entire wearing experience, and although it has a non-standard 21mm width at the lugs, I could easily see this pairing with a high-quality black leather strap. The bracelet's signed 2-button clasp is on the shorter side, capping off a trifold design that offers little opportunity for adjustment, but the inclusion of half links alleviates that issue for most wearers. And because with Grand Seiko there are no unimportant parts of a watch, we're going to dig into the 9R65 spring drive movement powering the SBGA415. Movement tech is a real point of pride with Grand Seiko, and naturally everything, and I mean everything, is in-house, down to their own proprietary lubricants, along with the quartz crystals that are grown and aged by the brand themselves. But in essence, a spring drive caliber leverages the accuracy of a quartz movement with the autonomous power supply of a mechanical watch, bringing together the best of both worlds. Spring drive was presented in 1999, with the inaugural Grand Seiko 9R movement following 4 years later after considerable R&D. To put it simply, spring drive uses mechanical power as an energy reserve with the help of a mainspring, in conjunction with a freely rotating wheel known as the glide wheel sitting at the far end of the gear train. It's able to create a small electrical charge with the help of a magnet at its axis in close proximity to copper wire, which in turn sends an electrical signal to an integrated circuit and quartz oscillator. The integrated circuit returns an electromagnetic pulse to the glide wheel utilizing copper wire, acting as a frictionless brake which ensures the wheel rotates in a single direction at a rate of 8 times a second. This creates the gliding sweep of the second hand that appears almost entirely stepless, unlike a conventional mechanical movement. The result is a staggering accuracy rating of ± 1 second a day, or ± 15 seconds a month, not to mention a 72-hour power reserve. Not only is the 9R movement a technical triumph, it's an exceptionally pretty movement, with finishing that rivals high-end mechanical calibers. You'll find well-executed striping, beveled edges, and fine engraving among the visual delights of this towering achievement in watchmaking. And there really is nothing else like it on the market. Now let's look at some of the pros and cons of the SBGA415 if you happen to be in the market for one. Starting with the cons, the reduced weight of titanium takes some getting used to in a luxury watch. But ultimately, you grow to appreciate it, and in my mind, it gives a modern, robust timepiece a bit of that vintage feel, so I'll chalk that con up to a bit of a pro. We'll meet in the middle. And as I mentioned earlier, the clasp may be a bit underwhelming, but again, the use of the half links make finding a fit quite easy. Now moving on to some of the pros. We're talking extremely wearable dimensions, wearing a touch smaller than the 40mm diameter suggests. The lightweight, again referring to this as a pro, is addictive after getting used to the feel. You're looking at fantastic finishing in this price tier, and the spring drive movement is a technological marvel. Overall, I would call this one of the best luxury watches between $6,000 and $7,000. In the end, we're talking about one of the most iconic executions of modern Grand Seiko. From the dial finishing, to the spring drive movement, to the bracelet, to the clasp, everything here signals Grand Seiko through and through. You can spot this from across the room. Say what you will about the power reserve on the dial, but I chalk it up to the same gripes people have with the helium escape valve on an Omega Seamaster Diver 300M. Sure, it doesn't need to be there, but it is something that speaks to the essence of the Grand Seiko design ethos. I love a 40mm watch that wears a little bit smaller, I love a bracelet that hugs the wrist, I love half links, and I love a dial and a movement that punch far above their weight in terms of the price bracket. Grand Seiko has always presented immaculate value for the money, and the SBGA415 is no exception.
All right, guys, that's all we have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please give this one a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Don't just say that, that really does help out the channel, and I do appreciate it. Also, if you are in the market for this watch, it is available on TeddyBaldassarre.com. TeddyBaldassarre.com is an authorized dealer for all the brands that we carry. Every purchase from our website comes with quick and fast fulfillment, dedicated customer support, and a full factory warranty for all the products that we offer. Also, if you have any questions about the watches you're seeing on this channel, we're on live chat, that little bubble at the bottom right corner of the website. That's where you can ask us questions. We have a full team dedicated, and they're not just team members, they're people that are into watches just like you and me. So if you have any questions about a watch on our website, feel free to reach out to them. And how we're able to keep doing what we're doing here is through selling watches. So if you are in the market for a watch, we'd absolutely love to have your business. Let's keep doing what we're doing here. We love what we do. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.